Hello everyone, welcome back to Trains Are Great. Today I have a video for the Classy Whale One Line Wonders Challenge, and I'm riding the Gold Coast Light Rail, the G-Link Light Rail, which began operations on the 20th of July 2014 and is a single line built in stages which runs from Helens Vale to Broad Beach, about 20 kilometers. It has a fleet of 23 Bombardier Flexity 2 trams, and they actually run on standard gauge track. Pretty unusual for Queensland, because actually in Queensland the main railway network uses 3-foot 6-inch gauge narrow gauge tracks. Today we are going to ride the entire line all the way from Helens Vale Station to Broad Beach South Station. So let's get on to the tram number 22. And when I walked in, I was greeted with a nice clean interior color scheme, which was nice and modern and nice to see. And then I went to get to my seat. And of course, being the foamer that I am, I had to choose a forward-facing window seat at the front of the tram. And now all we have to do is wait until the tram leaves. And fun fact, this is the first time I've ever ridden a tram in my life, believe it or not, so it was very exciting. And I did manage to film this other tram pulling into Helens Vale Station. And then we got the announcement, and then it's time to go.
Is now ready to depart. For your own safety, please hold on at all times whilst the train is moving.
And here we go, we are finally leaving, and this is the first time I'm ever riding a tram, which makes it even more cool. And it's also the first time that I'm riding on the standard gauge, because I've only rode on Queensland's 3-foot 6-inch gauge narrow gauge track in the past. Most of the tracks on about the northern half of the line are grade separated completely, but as we get deeper into the Gold Coast, you will see some street running sections. And there's also this thing which I think is a track laying device. And now I think it's time to get into some of the history on this tram network. Stage 1 construction of the Gold Coast Light Rail commenced in early 2012, comprised of 14 trams providing 7.5 minute frequency over 13 kilometers of track, stopping at 16 stations along the route. Handover of the depot to Keolis Downer, Gold Coast, and delivery of the first trams occurred in 2013. The balance of the trams were delivered in early 2014, enabling the team of Light Rail Vehicle Operators (LRVO) to be trained ready to commence operation in mid-2014. Stage 1 officially opened on 20th of July 2014. In 2015, the Queensland government announced a preferred route for Stage 2, running from Helens Vale Station to connect with Stage 1 at the Gold Coast University Hospital Station, delivering a seamless connection with heavy rail. Stage 2 construction commenced in 2016, extending the network by 7.3 kilometers, with 3 new stations, 2 park and ride facilities, and 4 additional trams. Stage 2 officially opened 17 December 2017. Construction of Stage 3, which is currently underway, will see a 6.7 kilometer extension from Broad Beach South Station to Burleigh Heads, including 8 new light rail stations and 5 additional light rail vehicles. Construction of Stage 3 started in 2023, taking place across 5 distinct phases. You can actually use the light rail and also the heavy rail network to get from pretty much almost anywhere in the southeast Queensland area to some of the best beaches in the world, which is pretty cool. Fun fact, Gold Coast University Hospital Station is pretty much the only underground station on the entire tram line, which is pretty interesting. And then we went across this pretty big bridge, which in my opinion is quite an impressive viaduct. And then we passed the tram depot where the trams are stored, and I think they maintain them here as well. And this depot did make for some pretty good footage. And now we're getting deeper into the city. So now I can actually see some tram sections which are running along the street, but they're not running straight on the street. They actually have their own lane dedicated to trams. Now we're getting even deeper into the Gold Coast, which means that we're getting closer to the end of this journey.
Beach South, stopping at all stations.
So, if you haven't realized, they use signals that are akin to the traffic light signals, but they just have the letter T, and the bottom one, which is where you to go, is actually white instead of green. And now we're getting into Surfer's Paradise, which is the meat of the Gold Coast, really. It's like the downtown of the Gold Coast. And by the way, the tallest building in the entirety of Australia is located here as well. And this stop here is Cavill Avenue, which you may or may not know of, but I think it's the most famous street in the entirety of the Gold Coast. This is the Q1, which is the tallest building in the entire country, and also when it was erected in 2006 it was the world's tallest residential building. Now we're getting into Broad Beach, the southern terminus of the G-Link light rail. Now we are pulling into Broad Beach South Station, the southern terminus of the G-Link light rail. So, I got off at Broad Beach South Station, the southern terminus, and I did a bit of transit fanning. As you can see, I filmed a few buses, and of course, I filmed the tram going forward and on its way back to Helensvale. And of course, while I was here, I went to the beach, so I took the transit to get all the way from where I live all the way to the beach, which is amazing. You cannot really do that in America that easily. Anyway, that's about it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. This is Trains Are Great, signing out.